Hi everybody, my name is Phillip Miller and I work for Chevron. I'm glad to be here to talk about digital transformation with EC as a service. Apologies that the videography may not be that great. Due to COVID, this is the best that I can do. Hope it's okay for you. I've been working with people in operations, engineering, and management in upstream production operations for 20 years in a variety of asset classes, helping them leverage technology to solve business problems. In my current role at Chevron, I am the product owner for Global EC Enhancements and the Global EC Architect. Here's some background information about how we use EC, which may be the same as you. Chevron's been using energy components since the early 2000s. We use the production module in all upstream sites and the sales, transport, revenue, and midstream modules in several sites. EC is used in traditional oil and gas production assets and in LNG operations. EC has interactions with many systems at the operation and corporate function level. You can see some of those in the diagram to the right. And EC supports and enables key business workflows in our operations. And here's some background information about some of what I've been working on the last couple of years. I've been really focused on getting the most out of our investment in EC, enabling global initiatives, addressing business pain points, either with existing EC modules or perhaps new EC functionality or new Tieto products. And then raising the awareness in our business units and in the corporate function about EC capabilities, helping to make the system easier to use for operators and better matched to their workflows, and just striving for higher EC data quality. I've also been working on other high-value business opportunities, such as capturing chemical data in EC to provide insights into optimizing chemical dosing, a new production efficiency business function which will compare current capability to actual production and then calculate the PE ratios using standard formulas. But also looking at the Pipette and Flow Manager module or software solutions from Tieto to better optimize and assess production. Then of course EC as a service. You know what, EC as a service, or ECaaS, it fits nicely into the digital transformation for the oil and gas industry. Other innovations include big data, data science, automation, 3D printing, industrial Internet of Things, and mixed or augmented reality. And ECaaS also provides the opportunity to simplify and standardize. I wanted to put together some thoughts on what ECaaS is and how it could be useful in oil and gas digital transformation. We view ECaaS as a software as a service offering. It can be used either as a single or a multi-tenant, and with the new features in EC12 around being able to configure unit of measure along with time zones at different levels in the operational hierarchy, it makes that really possible. Tieto operates an underlying EC servers and Oracle database and is responsible to patch and update them. Tieto also manages the EC application and is responsible for patches and updates to that. ECaaS can interact with company systems such as SCADA, historians, financial systems, just to name a few. And it can use the ECIS integrations that are used today. But it can also use very nicely the new JSON RESTful APIs that came with version 12. And event-based messaging is sorely needed. Reporting can also be done, of course, with ECaaS. You can either do it through your data warehouse, assuming you transfer the data from the EC database into your data warehouse, or by using the new EC reports, which are based on Yellowfin. The other thing about ECaaS is that level 2 and 3 support is available from Tieto. In terms of the why, some of the benefits, ECaaS definitely aligns with industry trends towards cloud server service providers. It provides quicker access to EC enhancements that enable key business activities. I'm very, very excited about. It also provides quicker access to technology advancements, such as automation, and APIs, Kubernetes, microservices, and Service Bus. Each environment may be scaled up or down, depending upon needs. It also provides for evergreen upgrades, which should be, and I think will be, more timely, but less expensive, and potentially less disruptive to business people than doing it with an on-premise system, doing upgrades with an on-premise system. ECaaS also provides access to some improved enhancement and bug fix features or capabilities from Tieto. For example, the Tieto DevOps delivery model, which is very exciting. And also the Tieto EC test automation, which is excellent. And probably most importantly, using ECaaS frees up company IT resources and makes them available for higher value work. And a couple quick other comments about the level 2 and 3 support. The level 2 support is more customer facing as I look at it, whether it's bug fixes that got reported or issues or enhancements, user management, that kind of thing, whereas level 3 to me feels more like it's a team of developers who are working on executing, whether it's actually looking into issues or providing bug fixes or making enhancements. And really the question about if or how much of ECaaS level 2 and 3 support to use may depend upon each company's approach to EC support. For example, is your EC support centralized or decentralized? Do your EC support personnel require business acumen? And what's the role of your help desk? And I think what makes the level 2 and 3 support attractive is that you can select how much you want to use by site. So a smaller site, maybe they want to take advantage more heavily of the level 2, whereas maybe a larger, more mature site may not need that. Now let's get into architecture. I want to talk a little bit about what the ECaaS architecture might look like in the context of a larger IT architecture for an oil and gas company. Let's start on the left. The diagram kind of moved to our right. On the left, you can see integration of bringing field data into EC. It could be field data, it could be financial data, but you see here in this example we're showing the ECIS agent to bring in historian data. The ECIS agent is the same as the ECIS program in the mothership. It's just the Java class has been deployed on an on-premise service, and once that agent, ECIS agent, is installed on an on-premise server, you want to get it close to the source system. But not only can you bring data into the ECaaS system, and it uses the APIs to do that, but you can also get data out and do inserts into databases or to spit out CSVs. Beneath that, you see an example of a flat file import, and with ECaaS you can set up transfer of files using SFTP to a folder in the Amazon S3 bucket, and once it's there, it can be processed into the ECaaS system. You'll notice how there's a bit of a yellow box between those and ECaaS, and that's the AWS Direct Connect, which we think is it's a hit. It's dedicated private bandwidth that connects the company network into AWS and provides privacy along with really nice performance. At the bottom, you see the EC screens, which we're familiar with. Those are the same, just a newer version. And you also see the EC reports, which are powered by Yellowfin. And those are key because with ECaaS, we cannot use development tools like PL/SQL Developer or Toad to access the EC database directly. And so those EC reports or Yellowfin is our key to getting access to the data. It can be used either to look at the EC views. You can also look at custom views or even tables. Very powerful. Wanted to mention also with ECaaS, you can use the AWS SMTP services, and that's excellent for email notifications to the company email exchange server. I also wanted to point out that you can see at kind of like the top of that big box to the right, you can create your own APIs. If you're an Azure customer, you can use Azure APIs and Azure Functions or Logic Apps, and then you can wrap the EC APIs then to to bring data in or to update data. Like if you have a well test program that validates well test results, you can have it, looking for new well test results, and then you can have it run an algorithm and then maybe update that well test with either approved or rejected. So that's a nice capability. You'll see just beneath that an example of bringing data into the data lake. We found a clever way to incrementally bring in data from EC. You know how with event-based data or periodic-based data, you want to bring that in as often as you can. Whereas other data, maybe you just bring it in daily, like maybe data from the historians. But we found a way not only to bring in store data incrementally, but we also found a clever way to detect changes in calculations, which has always been a challenge, and be able to bring those in incrementally. We reassemble that in raw, and then when we publish it into produce. And once it's there, you can move that data into either a corporate data warehouse, or you can move it into a site data warehouse. And from once it's there, then you can do reports as needed. So again, we feel this fits in really nicely with the overall IT architecture of an oil and gas company. To wrap up, and I apologize for going so quickly, just wanted to share some thoughts on what our experience has been thus far, and what it's been like working with Tieto on our transition from on-premise EC to ECaaS. It's probably not a secret that we have two EC environments live in ECaaS and more in progress. Response times using ECaaS with AWS hosting and AWS Direct Connect has been good. We had some issues and gaps with ECIS agent and EC APIs, but those have been addressed, and we're grateful for that. The Tieto Upgrade Factory has been great to work with. They've proven to be very responsive to any changes we needed or any issues that we found, and they've done quality work. The level 2 and 3 support has proven very useful, and we're glad for that. And I also wanted to mention that we've had excellent project management from Tieto on our ECaaS program. On the transition to ECaaS, I have been serving as the architect and technical team lead in the areas of security, networking, integration, cloud-to-cloud connectivity, reporting, and pipelines into the Azure Data Lake Store. We spent many months doing proof of concepts and pilots, and then launched into a multi-year program to deploy. Along the way, I've worked with many Tieto experts who are really helping to make this a success. There have been times of frustration trying to make things work and figuring out how to make things work, submitting JIRA tickets if we found an issue, waiting for fixes, and then wrestling with decisions around delivery deadlines. But by getting the right people involved in decisions and discussions, we've been able to resolve most issues, even when some at first said that's not possible. So it's been a good experience. I just wanted to thank you for your patience with my videography skills. Hope you found this presentation useful. And if you want to reach out to me, below is my email address, and if I'm not responsive, also that of my manager. Best wishes to each of you, and stay safe. Thank you very much.